Hey, good afternoon, Weight Loss Made Easy Solution Facebook group. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Uh, Today, guys, I'm sorry I was a little late. I wanted to do this around 12:30. I went to get my charger and it wasn't, or my wife's charger. Actually, I broke mine and it wasn't here, so she had to go out. She actually was showing somebody how to make homemade kombucha and I thought she took it, and when she got back just now, um, she said no, it's on the counter. So it was sitting on the kitchen counter this whole time. So that just shows that sometimes we're not paying attention. But anyway, so let's get this real quick. But guys, I need to do something real quick. I got to practice this because we are going to be start doing a wellness class at a wellness center that is ran by a doctor. And I have to, before I start the class off, I got to remember to be doing this. It's my disclaimer. And so the way it reads is I am not a doctor. The information I provide is based on my personal experience, scientific studies, and my experience as a personal coach or personal trainer or strength and conditioning coach. I am not a medical health practitioner. I am not going to subscribe any medical medication. I'm just going to give you what we have used and what it's done for us. I'm not, or am I a mental health provider? Yeah, I know we have to say this stuff, and we are not holding ourselves out to be in any capacity. Rather, we serve as a personal coaches, mentors, and guides who help you reach your own health and wellness goals. Okay, so I got that out of the way. So let's get right to it. Real quick announcement. I just want to welcome Chantel. I hope that's how you pronounce your name, Chantel. Colleen and Valerie, who have now joined the Weight Loss Made Easy, first of the year case study. We are setting up the files for these ladies to get started. Now, those of you that had some interest in joining this group of this case study, and I've sent you the information. You guys might want to go ahead and send your deposits in because we need to get your paperwork started, and because I want to start everybody off on this around the same time. Okay, and also the ones that are in the group. Once we close the group, what we're going to do also is probably once or twice a week, probably twice a week. We are going to actually have a group call with everybody that's doing the case study and just start it's kind of like a Q&A session that maybe you might hear something that somebody else is doing that's working that could help us get you to the results we're getting you to in those 12 weeks. So that'll be a lot of fun. This is going to be a fun group, I think. So far, the names I have, these are going to be some really good, fun people to be involved with and to get to meet and get to know better. So this will be fun. Now, one of our group members had a great question that she sent me. Her name is Cindy, and I want to thank her for it. Is that she's been doing the intermittent fasting and the primal eating, which you guys know as ketogenic diet, for about a month now, and she sounds like she kind of knows what she's doing, because basically the question was, Bill, I've been doing these protocols for about a month now. When can I introduce fruit back into my lifestyle? And that's a great question. And when you can, because when those people that I get involved with that become a client, one thing I do right off the bat, because if the issue is weight loss or obesity or type 2 diabetes or even cancer, one of the first things I do right away is I take them off all sugars. I take them off all fruit for the time being. Now, later on, you're going to be able to introduce the fruit, but I also take them off all starchy foods because that's sugar also. Starchy foods, complex carbs, turns into glucose, which is sugar. But I take them all off of that. That's part of the platform. That's what they're going to, but what you guys, as you follow me and as you listen to some of my trainings, you're going to hear me talk a lot about insulin resistance. You're going to hear me talk a lot about type 2 diabetes. You're going to hear me talk a lot about nutritional ketosis, therapeutic ketosis. You're going to hear me talk about autophagy. For those of you that are exercising, that are strength training, and are looking to add lean muscle and still lose the body fat, autophagy is huge to put your body into. When you're in that environment of autophagy, men are actually going to spike their growth hormones by 2,000%. Women are going to spike their growth hormones by 1,300%. And the longevity of your growth hormones and other muscle building hormones will stay at a higher peak throughout the day, and that's exactly what you want. But you have to get into an environment known as autophagy. Now, you're also going to learn about therapeutic autophagy, which is very important for me because I'm post-cancer, and this is what helps many disease models like cancer, and this is what Dr. Seifield is doing with his brain cancer patients, is putting them into autophagy with primal eating or ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting. So you're going to learn all this stuff. But the thing is, what we want to talk about is Cindy's question about when she should be introduced to fruits again. Well, that all depends about one thing. Are you rooted in fat adaptation? What that means, what fat adaptation means, is your body has adapted to burning body fat or fat as its primary food source or energy source, and has gotten away from burning sugar as its energy source because there's no sugar left to burn in that liver. So what you're looking to do is, as you get started, you need to get in that environment of fat adaptation. Now, you need to monitor if you're actually in fat adaptation to make sure that your meals are adjusted right. And so we have to do that. We have to monitor it. And we have two ways of doing it. So my clients are introduced to the first way. And then once they become fat adapted, once they've taught their body how to burn fat, and then we move up to the next level, which is called the GKI monitoring system or index. But you first have to know that. Now, for me personally, through my research, most people will not actually get into fat burning when they're first starting out until for about 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes four weeks. So the difference is there's a difference between being rooted in fat adaptation and fat adaptation when you're first starting out. When you're first starting out, you're just teaching your body how to burn fat, and so your ketone levels will come up, and you're showing your glucose or your sugar levels are dropping, and so the ratio between the two gives you the nutritional ketosis that you're looking for to burn fat. And you're teaching your body to burn fat by eating higher fat, good dietary fats, and dropping your carbs way low. That's how you're teaching your body to burn fat with the food. Okay? Now that's the difference here between being really rooted in fat adaptation and fat adaptation itself, is that Emily and I have been doing this for quite a few years. It took me to be in rooted fat adaptation where my body loves being on the higher dietary fat versus the carbs. So my body is operating in such a strong, healthy efficiency because of my diet, because of my high fat. And my brain loves it because science already knows, ketones is is brain food, and ketones also gives you a massive amounts of energy and many other benefits. But what we've done here, because we've been doing it for a while, is that our body would rather be in this environment of fat adaptation. And so it's primarily living off, or surviving off of the fats that we're eating. It would rather be there. It took me probably, I would have to say, maybe 2 months to really get into fat adaptation, to where I can actually go out with my friends or my family members, and this is what one of the advantages you will get when you become rooted in fat adaptation through consistency. It's all about consistency of being on the meal plans. Is that when we go out with family members or friends out to eat, I still stay on the. I still try to make good choices. But if I decide to have some kind of complex carbs like a baked potato or French fries or whatever, I can do that because my body is so rooted in fat adaptation that when I eat that, most likely I'm not going to feel good, but it does taste good. So of course I'm going to try it, or I'm going to go ahead and eat it. But I'm going to jump back into nutritional ketosis very quickly, probably within 3 or 4 hours, where those of you that aren't, you might be showing that you are in nutritional ketosis, but you're not rooted in fat adaptation. It could take you 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, or even 12 hours. It'll take most of you who are just starting out 12 hours to get back into nutritional ketosis, where you're actually burning fat after you've had a higher complex carb or starchy meal. It will take you that. Us? No. We no longer are there. So Cindy's question was that after being on these protocols for 4 weeks, when could I introduce introduce fruit back into my diet? Well, the first thing is you have to know if you're actually in fat adaptation or nutritional ketosis, and you need to monitor that. And so you have to see now, after you've been on it, after you've been in those protocols for a month, most likely the ketone strips that you buy at the drugstores aren't going to work any longer. And that's why you have to go to a GKI monitoring index system, which is actually a very, very accurate way to check to see if you're actually burning fat, because it's a blood test, and blood test doesn't lie. It's a meter. It's a Mojo meter that reads glucose levels and ketone levels. And between the two levels, when you take them, and there's a ratio. When you combine the two, there's a ratio that you need to be in, either for weight loss or super weight loss, or if you have some kind of a degenerative disease like cancer, you got to be way down here in order to do that. But you got to monitor it, because you just don't know. I mean, you have to know for a fact that you are in fat adaptation. So how do I know that we're rooted fat adapted? It's pretty simple. Is I can have carbohydrates or complex carbs for one of my meals, wait 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours, and check my blood. That's the simple. I mean, it's as simple. And if it shows that my blood sugar is down to normal, which is like 86 to 74, and my ketones are up in the 1.0 or higher, or even 0.8 or higher, then I'm right back into nutritional ketosis. That's what that means. So last night, for example, now today, guys, this is our 24-hour fast. So our first meal today will be around 6 or 7 tonight. All I have is is water, my sea salt. We have a secret sauce that when we're doing these longer fastings, like a 24 or a 36 or a 48, we have a secret sauce that won't break our fast if we drink it, but it depresses that hunger wave that some of you get. Now, we no longer get hunger waves when we do the 24s or the 36 or the 48. But we do have a secret sauce that my clients get to help them break through that hunger wave. But I also drink coffee black. This is not my fat coffee. I'll have my fat coffees tomorrow, but I have no calories for 24 hours. Zero. None. And why is that? Because I want to get in deep autophagy, and for anti-aging, I want to boost my growth hormones, and I want to tighten up my saggy skin because we've lost so much body fat. So, and I want to be stronger, and so that's why we do it. Um, so that's why we do these 24-hour fastings a couple times a week. But going back to Cindy's question, my answer to her was, of course, is how are you monitoring your nutritional ketosis if you're even in there? And how do we know? We're not going to know if you can introduce it. Now, most likely, I think I told Cindy, most likely after 4 weeks of doing these protocols, I really don't think that she's in rooted ketosis. So if she does introduce fruit into her diet, she might be. I'm just guessing because she hasn't been monitoring it. But I would think that that the fruit will throw you out of ketosis. So as soon as you consume a quarter cup or a half cup of fruit, you're going to be right out of ketosis. So your blood sugar, you're going to spike your insulin. Whenever your insulin goes above base, it throws you out of fat burning. Then it most likely is going to take her 8 to 10 hours, 12 hours to get right back into nutritional ketosis. See, that's the difference between her and what Emily and I are doing, because we are fat adapted, rooted, that we can have fruit if we feel like it. We'll have a quarter cup of some kind of berries, low glycemic fruit, and it's not going to affect our insulin spiking that much. Yes, it will probably. Now, I mean, basically, we're so fat adapted that even if I have some fruit, it won't throw me out of ketosis. So it may not, I won't be as deep, but it won't throw me out, and I won't, if it does, I'm going to go right back into it. Well, last night, my daughter-in-law, who's an awful good cook, unbelievable cook, they like to invite us over. My son and daughter like to invite us over to their house for dinner, and they don't cook. They don't cook the same meals that we do, so there's more complex carbs, pastas, rice, stuff like that in their meals. And so, if they invite us over to the house, am I going to say no because they're having pasta for dinner, or they're having rice or baked potato or fry or what? No, I'm not going to say no. And why is that? Because it's not going to affect me at all. I mean, yeah, it might affect me as far as the way I feel, that I might get tired, but is it going to affect am I going to gain body fat back? Absolutely not. Am I going to get right back into nutritional ketosis? Absolutely, very quickly, within 3 or 4 hours, maybe even less. And so that's one of the advantages by going with the 4 protocols that we've combined. That's going to teach your body to be in fat adaptation. But it takes time to get rooted into it so that you can go and have these kind of foods that I'm talking about every once in a while, and you're not going to have to worry about it. So you can enjoy some of those comfort foods, and so we can go to my daughter-in-law's. I mean, she fixed food is awesome. Last night it was awesome, but we had pasta, and I don't know what else I had. Oh, I had some kind of a yogurt dessert, which was awesome. And am I stressing about it? No. Did I jump on the scale? Heck no, I don't use scales. Okay, so that's the advantage. But right now, Cindy, I really don't think you should incorporate your fruit yet because, I got a phone call, because I don't think you're quite in rooted fat adaptation yet. And until you monitor your nutritional ketosis, I would stay away from it for a while. It may, like I said, it took me, I think, a couple months. I think Emily was a lot faster, but it took me a little bit longer to get it into it. So that's some of the stuff you guys are going to learn in these videos that I do, is just some tips or some experiences that I've gone through or some of my clients have gone through. Those of you that have questions, you can message me the questions, and I'll take the ones and maybe add them to my training videos that I'll be doing here on Fridays as well. So guys, that's my tip about fat adaptation and about what you guys are going to learn. But I'm going to recap. Those of you that were interested in my case studies, you might want to get that deposit in, because I want to get this started ASAP and get the paperwork done, because it's pretty, there's a lot of information that I need from you guys. And those of you that might not have heard about my case study, you may want to check it out. And if you do, put in the comments section case study, and I'll send you the information about it, so maybe you can join the group, and it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Yep, that's it for today. So you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys the next time around. Bye.